But you mentioned if you're a Bulls GM, if you're a Bulls brass, you're getting on the phone with Miami. You're getting on the phone with Portland. Now we
Yep.
do know that Portland may be flipping Jrue Holiday. It kind of doesn't fit their timeline. They were looking for someone younger. They
No,
already
they got
have.
him already. They
They
got
already
three
got a
dudes
younger
that are the
piece.
same, basically.
Yeah, they already got Anthony Simons. They already got Scoot Henderson,
Anthony, Scoot, and who's the one we forgetting? Shaden.
Shaden.
We
Jump
got
out
three
the
of the
gym,
same
Shaden.
dude.
That boy right there. I want to go see him play just because he just booms on people just for no reason. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, get out the way.
Yeah.
But again, going back to the initial question, what move do you think could be possible? Because AK still got like some game out here. He still be trying
Yeah.
to fleece himself. Do you think he can fleece himself into a situation where we're not bringing back Lonzo Ball, but we find a way to land Jrue Holiday?
I think that this is the situation for the Bulls where you're not bringing back Lonzo Ball, and you know what Portland wants now. You know Portland wants to go young. They bring in a young big man in DeAndre Ayton for
Mm-hmm.
you to be able to pair with Shaden Sharp, Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, whatever combination of those guys you have there, right? They're not looking to bring in pieces. This tells you this because they're wanting to flip Jrue Holiday. So you have to have some combination of maybe Alex Caruso, Lonzo Ball contract. You can flip that and you send them back. Remember, they can't trade any of their picks until we lift the protection on the pick that they traded us, which their GM was a moron for that. That he gave us 10 years worth of protection on that pick.
That's crazy.
He gave us 10 years worth of protection on that pick. So they can't do nothing with their own picks until the Bulls remove that protection, because at any point that could be the Bulls' pick if the Bulls so choose to take it.
Why the heck did he do that? That's
I don't know. I have no idea.
okay.
I have
All right,
no
well, hey,
idea.
listen.
Right?
Hey, he
That's
also
so
traded
crazy.
Dame instead of getting him Dame a team. So okay. All right, cool.
Well, I mean,
Hey, listen, I would have
what
made it
are
work.
you gonna do?
I'd have made
Here's
it
the
work.
funny part about that. This is the team that I would have loved to see with Dame. Dame and DeAndre Ayton is the team I actually would have liked to see.
And they still got Jeremy Grant.
Because you finally get to see Dame with a real big man.
Yeah.
But I mean, we get to see it anyway, just now in Milwaukee, right? Like you got Giannis and Dame. So
I don't think people understand how much spacing is going to be available for Giannis now.
Giannis hasn't
worried.
seen this space ever, right? Like
Giannis
he has
ain't never seen this
this
much space. He's like, God, is this much space on the court? Excuse me.
I think I would be all in on trading for Jrue Holiday because, one, you're going to have to include Caruso in that. Caruso is a player that they probably would be more willing to take on. If you can move off Alonzo's money as well, that's a win. Okay, you give up protections, fine. It is what it is. We've had these protections for 10 years. Portland's never been high enough in the playoffs for you to actually hold on to them. I think the situation with Jrue Holiday is you get him in here. He's a great point of attack defender. He's somebody who also can bring offense. He's 7 assists a game. He is your Lonzo Ball replacement in this situation. And yeah, you do lose a piece in Alex Caruso, maybe whatever future there is for Patrick Williams, if that's what it comes down to. But realistically, you're getting a player that can help this team now, especially with the comments we heard from DeMar DeRozan today, talking about how he would love to finish his career here in Chicago. He wants to re-sign here in Chicago and would be willing to, like those are the things that you say, okay, well, that means that we need to try, if you want to keep DeMar, which I think that you also have to take into account, while everybody's so willing to get rid of DeMar, DeMar's the Hall of Famer. DeMar has 38 dudes that have scored more points than him in NBA history. He's an elite scorer.
Portland just moved off a dude that's top 75. So, I mean, that don't mean nothing.
I mean, no, I get you, but it's but Portland, right? There was no end to Portland. Like
there's no end to DeMar being on the Bulls right now, potentially.
Well, listen, it all depends on what you get back. DeMar with Dame, or I'm sorry, DeMar with Jrue. DeMar, Zach LaVine, and Jrue Holiday is the team that we saw the first 35 games of the season with Lonzo Ball.
To be honest with you, I would go Jrue Holiday and Zach and try to figure out my mid piece, because you already got Vooch. Again, there's only one ball. And so the one thing that we know Zach and DeMar do very similar things. And it didn't really work without a premier point. To get this premier point with the money he's making would take someone like DeMar. I would never move off Zach if I'm the Bulls at this particular point, at this juncture. Like, unless you commit to a complete rebuild, there's no reason to do that. Like DeMar is the most. DeMar is tradable simply because he's worth that much, and the piece you need is worth that much.
Yeah, but you also have to trade him to the team that wants him. Why would they flip Jrue Holiday for DeMar DeRozan?
To be honest with you, the one thing that Portland doesn't have right now, they're running out of good vets.
They don't have any, but they also don't want any.
So like
they got
I would
Jeremy Grant.
I would want
that's
a vet
all they
that
want.
doesn't impede certain positions. Like I don't think
we know they don't want that. We know they don't want that because they're getting rid of him.
Yeah, he's a Dame good vet. Does exactly. Scoop does exactly what Dame is like. That's too much of a conflict.
No. I'm not talking
same
about
size,
Dame.
same position. Scoop needs the ball. Like I need a vet to anchor down to get me a bucket, and I think DeMar still fits that role.
I'm not talking about Dame. I'm talking about Jrue. If you want a good vet, that's your good vet.
Yeah, but I'm my good vet is a point guard who needs the ball, and I just drafted Scoot Henderson, who's my point guard of the future, who needs the ball.
Even so, you bring Jrue off the bench.
I don't have when you bring in a vet, I'm not gonna bring in a vet that does exactly what I need my young guard to do. I would bring in a vet who complements them. So I think DeMar would complement that consortium of young talent more than he complements what we have here. And again, I like DeMar. I really do. But like if you're talking about what we need a high level point guard.
I mean, that's fine. And I want to go get Jrue. I'd be fine getting Jrue. The realistic situation is Portland doesn't want guys that are Jrue and DeMar's age.
Oh well, so that's a
you know what I'm saying? Like
that's
what I'm talking about. Now, I would take that guy if say it's an Alex Caruso who's 30 probably, and he's an elite defender and he's used to being a bench player already, right? You have to convince Jrue and or DeMar to basically say you got to come off the bench. Nobody's willing to do that. Alex Caruso shows up, he's already a bench guy. Patrick Williams shows up, you can't say nothing to me. you stand over there. Right. You know what I mean? And so I think that's a situation where, to me, the Jrue Holiday trade goes down. One, the protections is the biggest thing if the Bulls were to trade for him. But two, I think that it's a situation where you actually can build a team that has Vooch, that has DeMar, that has Zach LaVine. You're adding a legitimate point guard to it. Oh, by the way, we signed Javon Carter this offseason for basically a little bit of money. Now he could be your elite bench point guard paired with Kobe White. Ayo Dosunmu's still going to be here. That's defense off your bench. I think that's a situation where if the Bulls make a trade like that, it would be absolutely huge for the team that is currently here. And we already know AK doesn't want to do this huge rebuild, this huge flip. But and realistically, I don't believe he wants to give up on P. Will yet either. I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you, Bills fans, prepare yourself. P. Will's here, he's getting extended.
Hey, listen, look, we can save the bad news for another time. You know, we can sit there and talk about a bunch of stuff that's happening in Chicago that should be happening. Extended P. Will is a mistake.
I'm just
like
saying.
drafting him was. Like I don't.
Well, you'd extend him for a little bit of money. You know what I mean? Like it'd be like now it's a lot of money, but it's a little bit of money compared to the cap. It's a lot of money. I can't wait for that day. I almost want him to stick around long enough just to see Bulls fans lose their mind. They're gonna give him $20 million.
Oh yeah, that's what
they're gonna give him $20 million a year. But you know the old heads ain't figured out percentage versus the cap. God. Oh my God.
It's like, dog,
they're gonna lose their minds.
I understand that 20 million 20 years ago was like elite contracts, but like it's people gonna be making $60 million a year.
Hey, bro,
20 million is scrub money now,
bro.
Dog. Like
they gonna be sitting here $20 million.
Like, hey, y'all talking about $20 million when you got somebody that's about to make 63 in like 2 years. He can't go left yet.
Hey, bro, you know what I mean?
Like, come on, dog.
At least our guy
can't. How you get 63 M's and can't go left? Like,
at least, hey, look, the whole team can't go left. I swear, I've done this so many times. Go back and rewatch the Miami game.
He can't go left.
No, Tatum can't either.
Dog, here's the funny part. Y'all realize that's still like 30 M's after taxes? He getting paid 30 M's take home to not go left. Do with that what you will. And y'all gonna talk about 20 mil for P. Will. I mean, 20 mil is good money. Like, listen, that's what you're gonna get.
The 20 mil is still a lot of money, but it ain't a lot of money comparatively to where we at in the NBA now.
Is that Ramona talking about P. Will will prove you wrong?
P. Will will prove you wrong. Hey, look, I hope so. Here's the thing for me.
Right.
Here's the thing for me. I hope so.
Stop.
Prove to me that you can be an elite player in the NBA. I ain't seen
He's
this
not
yet.
gonna be elite, though.
Hey, look, maybe he will.
Hold on, wait. What's your
Prove it to
definition
me.
of elite?
Of elite? Zach
Of
LaVine's
elite.
an elite player.
Who?
Zach LaVine's an elite player. He's
He
not a
not gonna be elite,
superstar.
dog.
He's not a superstar, but he's elite.
All right, so what's elite at P. Will's position?
What's elite at P. Will's position?
If you gotta think about it that hard, he ain't gonna
No,
be
because I'm trying to think of because it's not because I guess Paul George and Zach LaVine are kind of same level positionally, right?
Paul George is a small forward.
Paul George is better than Zach LaVine, but I think that they kind of in the same ranking, just at a different position. Like you would put them in the same spot. Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of like who is Zach LaVine's contemporary at a small
Zach's contemporary.
spot.
I think is still right now. It's Jaylen Brown, but at one point it was Devin Booker as a 2 guard.
Jaylen Brown is elite.
Yeah. So like, all right.
Jaylen Brown's not a superstar. Jaylen Brown is elite.
So Paul George
is better than Jaylen Brown.
All right. So all right, we got. Hey, y'all put in the chat who is elite.
Paul George is better than Jaylen Brown. But I think here's the thing, right? Like I y'all know my stance on it. You got your elite, you got your stars, and you got your superstars.
I think P. Will is going to be a nice journeyman. He's going to have a nice 15-year career. He's going to be on about 4 or 5 teams. It's going to work out for him. He's going to take care of his family. Shout out to that young man.
And he might be a nice. He'll be a solid. You know what P. Will end up being, at least in my mind right now. Remember when Doug McDermott was in Indianapolis?
Oh, he was in Indy?
Yeah, he was on the Pacers for a while. Became an elite 3-point shooter. Was a terrible defender. And just could knock down the 3-ball. That's why I see for P. Will his
ceiling be
right
like
now.
Rick Fox.
I feel like Rick Fox didn't average that much.
But Rick Fox was like a good 3 or a good.
I think we just like Rick Fox. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Rick Fox average like 6 points a game or something? Like
I mean that whole Lakers team was top heavy. He was give the ball to Shaq and Kobe and get out the way. Like
okay, no, you know what? I can see that. Rick had a couple of 15-point per game seasons. Yeah, I can see that.
He gonna be Rick Fox.
I can see that.
But no, I think ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, Rick Fox is a good player.
It's
gonna
be better than what I'm
now
doing.
When he was on that Lakers team, he was solid 7. But no, I just Boris Diaw, Steve-O with the Boris Diaw.
Hey, Boris Diaw is on a legendary team though. That's a name. That's a name. It's a brand name.
I think realistically, right? To me, the Jrue Holiday trade would be the best case scenario for the Bulls in the position that they're in right now. I think that you can keep a good chunk of your core together, which is what we already know they want to do. Mm-hmm. I think that you wouldn't have to give up a ton because Portland wants to give up Jrue Holiday anyway. And the second, then Portland can remove the protections off of their pick. But then now they can start saying, okay, now we want to add to this young team. We'll trade you this pick to get a player here. Something like that. They can't do that now.
Yeah.
They're stuck. They're stuck draft capital wise. So they had to trade other people picks.
So I got to ask you this. I throw in this curveball while we have a few minutes. How would you feel if we did nothing? How would you feel if AK did nothing?
I'm not hurt by this because both of the players to me are like they're I would love Jrue here, but as long as Drew's not like if Jrue ends up on Miami, that might irritate me a little bit. To me, the Jrue one is a chess piece to make a move, basically to say, hey, we're not going to let somebody else